Keanu Reeves is one of the most extraordinary actors of contemporary Hollywood. Undoubtedly, he is best remembered by audiences for his role as Neo in the Matrix trilogy. However, his rich filmography also includes numerous other roles in both blockbuster and independent projects. He portrayed a ruthless lawyer in the mystical thrillers The Devil's Advocate, a mysterious undercover agent in the animated film A Scanner Darkly, and a mediator between heaven and hell, The Master of Darkness and Constantine. The list goes on and on. Yet Keanu is not only a talented actor, but also an incredibly sensitive, vulnerable, and caring person, making him a remarkable individual worthy of special attention. Keanu Reeves was born in the hot capital of Lebanon, Beirut, to a geologist father, Samuel, and a dancer mother, Patricia Bond. His striking appearance came as Hawaiian and Portuguese heritage from his father's side and English and Irish roots from his mother's side and English and Irish roots from his mother's side. The unique name Keanu comes from the Hawaiian language, meaning cool breeze over the mountains. Keanu's father was an unconventional character. He lacked higher education and even obtained his high school diploma while in prison, where he ended up due to heroin trafficking charges. 2 years after Keanu's birth, his sister Kim arrived, and shortly after that, when Keanu was just 3 years old, Samuel left the family. Following this, Keanu, along with his mother and sister, moved first to Sydney and then to New York. By that time, his mother had transitioned into a costume designer and married Broadway director Paul Aaron, not to be confused with actor Aaron Paul. Eventually, the family settled in Toronto. And from then on, Keanu always considered hospitable Canada his home. Later, Keanu gained 2 more half-sisters from Patricia's marriage to rock promoter Robert Miller. The Reeves family settled in Toronto, right across from a music studio just as Alice Cooper was recording the album Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Strangely enough, the rock star remembered the young boy who enthusiastically listened to his rock tunes. He liked loud music, but I wonder what his parents were thinking, leaving their child in the care of Alice Cooper's band, the musician recalled with a laugh later. Keanu Reeves had a reluctant attitude toward school. The subjects were challenging for the future actor because he suffered from dyslexia, a learning disorder that affects the ability to read and write. Due to this condition, reading, writing, and consequently, learning were difficult for Keanu. He quickly became withdrawn and insecure due to the mockery from classmates and the disdain of teachers. However, as he grew older, he managed to overcome his complexes. Despite dyslexia, Keanu Reeves played chess at a remarkable level from a young age. He even challenged adult players, wagering $1 per game. Over 5 years, Reeves changed 4 middle schools, including an acting school from which he was expelled. After that, he attended a Catholic boys' school, but he left it as well without obtaining a high school diploma. Moving away from his parents, he moved into the basement of his girlfriend Pam's house and began working 3 jobs: sharpening skates at the local hockey rink, trimming bushes in parks, and cooking spaghetti in an Italian restaurant. Keanu Reeves got his first acting role at the age of 15 when he participated in the play Wolf Boys at the local Lee Postlins Theater. In 1983, Keanu Reeves made his first appearance on television, starring in a Coca-Cola commercial and an episode of the typical youth series Hangin' In. His first role in a feature film came in 1986 when he played a young hockey goaltender in Peter Markle's movie Youngblood. Released, Keanu Reeves obtained a green card and moved to Los Angeles. His former stepfather, Paul Aaron, helped Keanu settle in the city and found a personal agent for the young talent. The agent considered Keanu's name too exotic. So in his early films, he appeared under pseudonyms such as Norman Reeves and even Chuck Spidana. Keanu Reeves received positive reviews from critics for his role in the teenage drama River's Edge, which premiered in the same year, 1986. He played the character of Matt, a high school student torn between the dilemma of reporting his classmate's murder committed by his friend or keeping the crime a secret in the name of friendship. Interestingly, Keanu later reunited with Dennis Hopper, who was also in the film, on the set of Speed. In that same year, Reeves was offered the role of Private Chris in Oliver Stone's Vietnam War film Platoon. However, being a committed pacifist, he declined the role, and it eventually went to Charlie Sheen. By the early 1990s, the name of the young Keanu Reeves was no longer an unknown in the world of cinema. He had already showcased his charm in the period drama Dangerous Liaisons alongside Glenn Close, Michelle Pfeiffer, and John Malkovich, as well as in the youth comedy Bill Kidd's Excellent Adventure, where he played alongside Alex Winter. In 1991, the action film Point Breaks was released, for which the actor tried his hand at surfing and unexpectedly developed a serious passion for the sport. In the same year, the independent film My Own Private Idaho by Gus Van Sant premiered, where Keanu transformed into Scott, a rebel engaging in street prostitution out of protest. Another significant success for Reeves was his role in Francis Ford Coppola's thriller, Dracula's 1992. The young actor portrayed Jonathan Harker, who falls into the clutches of the cunning vampire, Gary Oldman in love with his fiancée, Winona Ryder. In 1993, he appeared as one of the incarnations of Buddha in the Italian director Bernardo Bertolucci's film Little Buddha. In 1994, the actor's filmography added its first true action film, Speed. In the plot, Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock's characters try to disarm a bomb set on a bus by a deranged terrorist portrayed by Dennis Hopper. The film became a genuine box office hit, and Keanu earned a paycheck of $1.02 million for his work. Speed also made it to the list of the 100 most thrilling films of the 20th century, albeit ranking 90 in the rating. Keanu Reeves' next significant work was the leading role in the adaptation of William Gibson's cyberpunk classic Johnny Mnemonic. The film is set in an alternative future where Reeves portrays a data courier who carries valuable information in his own brain. Interestingly, the film was initially conceived as a subtle psychological drama, but after the success of Speed, which instantly made Keanu an action star, director Robert Longo added fight and shootout scenes to the movie, which later caused displeasure from Gibson himself. In 1997, Keanu was offered $11 million to star in the sequel to Speed, but he declined in favor of the mystical The Devil's Advocate, primarily to work with Al Pacino. To convince the renowned Hollywood actor to be a part of the film, Reeves even sacrificed a portion of his salary in favor of Pacino. As a result, Jason Patric appeared in Speed 2, and the world watched as an ambitious young lawyer plunged into a nightmarish abyss of corruption. However, it was after the premiere of the first part of the cyberpunk trilogy, The Matrix in 1999, that Keanu Reeves truly became a cult actor. In the film directed by the Wachowskis, his character, hacker Thomas Anderson aka Neo, discovers that the entire surrounding reality is nothing more than a fiction created by machines to enslave humanity after the triumph of artificial intelligence. Liberated from illusions, Neo becomes one of the leading figures in humanity's struggle for freedom. The intelligent and dynamic Matrix, filled with subtle references to cinematic masterpieces, philosophical treatises, and even elements from Alice in Wonderland and the Bible, became a cult film of the late 20th century, almost marking the beginning of a new era. Books were written, computer games were created, and anime adaptations were made based on the trilogy. Interestingly, Keanu Reeves himself didn't own a computer for a long time, even after the release of The Matrix. However, he personally participated in the development of costumes and special effects for the film. The sequels to The Matrix were released in 2003, with a 6-month interval. For his work, Keanu Reeves received a total of over $30 million, of which 80 was shared among 114 people who worked on the film. After the success of The Matrix, Keanu Reeves appeared in a series of films that, according to critics, were not as successful. Movies like The Gift, Hardball, Sweet November, Something's Gotta Give, Ellie Parker, and Constantine were not bad, but people expected roles of a different caliber from the cult actor, and they got what they wanted. In 2005, audiences saw Keanu Reeves in a new role, a cold-blooded and ironic exorcist, John Constantine, who patrols the boundary between heaven and hell, awaiting his inevitable death. After Constantine, Keanu was once again recognized as a symbolic figure in Hollywood. During this time, the actor received his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2006, Keanu Reeves appeared in an unconventional project by Richard Linklater, an animated film adaptation of Philip K. Dick's book A Scanner Darkly. Alongside Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder, and Woody Harrelson, he became involved in a story set in the not-so-distant future where the world is overrun by a mysterious drug that destroys the mind and body of its users. Keanu played the lead role, portraying a drug-addicted agent from the narcotics division. He also stood out in a romantic drama, The Lake House, which was released the same year. The film touched the hearts of millions. It was not just a love story, but it also involved elements of fantasy and even mysticism. In 2013, Keanu took the director's chair himself and presented the action film man of Tai Chi to the audience. His directorial debut was positively received, despite the genre's formulaic nature. At the same time, Keanu Reeves starred in the fantasy action film 47 Ronin. Keanu was the only American actor chosen for the leading role, while the other characters were portrayed by popular but little-known outside Japan actors. The dynamic and atmospheric film received many warm reviews, just like the next, completely different action film starring Reeves, John Wick. In 2016, Keanu Reeves appeared in the psychological horror film The Neon Demon, playing a suspicious hotel manager who accuses L.A. Fanning's character of causing damage to a hotel room, where an inexplicably appeared mountain lion was found. He also portrayed the main role in the drama The Whole Truth, transforming into a lawyer trying to prove the innocence of a young boy accused of killing his father for money. Unfortunately, both critics and audiences labeled the film as a boring slog, adding another project to the list of recent unsuccessful movies by Keanu Reeves. In the same year, the actor lent his voice to a kitten who coincidentally shares his name in the comedy film Keanu. In 2016, the release of the horror romantic film The Bad Batch was announced, where Keanu Reeves reunited with Jason Momoa. The film's plot tells of a post-apocalyptic society, including a community of cannibals. One of the main characters, of course the cannibal, falls in love with his prey. In 2017, he simultaneously worked on several projects, including the sci-fi thriller Replicas, where he portrayed a new version of Victor Frankenstein, the romantic drama Destination Wedding, where Reeves fell in love again with Winona Ryder, and the crime thriller Siberia, partially filmed in St. Petersburg. In Russia, Siberia was released under the title The Professional and did not meet the expectations of Russian viewers due to an abundance of stereotypes, including the Russian mafia, vodka, and ladies of the night, featuring the usual cliché package. In 2014, Keanu Reeves' name became associated not only with Neo from The Matrix, but also with the character of John Wick, a polite lone hitman, in the eponymous neo-noir thriller. The film's creator, Chad Stahelski, had previously worked with Reeves on the set of The Matrix. He was the star's stunt double. During the script development, writer Derek Kolstad originally envisioned a role reminiscent of Paul Newman in his prime in the 1960s. Of course, this casting was not possible as the actor had passed away several years prior. At that time, Keanu was approaching his 50th birthday, but demonstrated exceptional professionalism once again. Just like in The Matrix, he performed all the stunts in John Wick himself, even though 15 years had passed since Neo in his kung fu days. To prepare for the role of Wick, Reeves trained in judo and jiu-jitsu for 4 months. It's not just physical toughness. There is strength of spirit in him. He's a man with a completely different worldview, said the director. The actor agreed to work for a mere $1 million, as initially, the project didn't seem promising at all. We have a former hitman whose wife dies of natural causes, leaving him a puppy as a final gift. Then some scumbag kills the puppy, and the hitman seeks revenge, killing 84 people. How many studios do you think turned down our project? Spoiler alert, all of them, Stahelski chuckled. In the movie, John Wick, Keanu speaks a bit of Russian. Before filming, he didn't know a single word of the Russian language, but thanks to excellent teachers, he managed to deliver a couple of phrases practically without an accent. Ironically, the characters who are supposed to be Russian in the plot speak with a terrible accent and linguistic errors in the original voiceover. However, the dark action thrilled the audience, and sequels were not long in coming. In 2017, the second installment was released, followed by the third in 2019, and a fourth John Wick is planned. Although the project was initially conceived as a trilogy, the geometrically increasing box office earnings of the new parts led the creators to change their minds. In 2020, the unexpected third part of Bill and Ted's Adventures was released. The story takes place many years after the second part. Bill and Ted are no longer young, but they still haven't written the song that, as people from the future claimed, is destined to forever change humanity for the better. Keanu will also appear in Zach Galifianakis' comedy Between Two Ferns, a full-length version of his famous show in which he conducts humorous interviews with famous personalities. A significant event was Keanu Reeves' appearance at the E3 2019 gaming conference, during which it was announced that he would be featured in the video game Cyberpunk 2077. He served as the inspiration for Johnny Silverhand, a character with a mechanical arm, a rock star, terrorist, and rather conceited guy with whom the main character is forced to coexist. During the conference, someone from the audience interrupted Keanu's speech, shouting, "You're breathtaking," to which the actor replied, "No, you're breathtaking," earning another dose of public love and creating yet another meme. From childhood, Keanu Reeves was known for his introverted nature and wasn't the most sociable teenager. Many girls were captivated by his candid darkness, finding a special charm in him. However, Keanu kept everyone at a distance from his heart, although he had many fleeting romances and casual relationships. In 1998, at a party, the actor met Jennifer Syme, who was a friend of Keanu's sister. It was love at first sight, and soon Keanu, who had recently claimed to be afraid of serious relationships and especially having children, decided to have a child with Jennifer. The girl was supposed to be born on January 8, 2000. The couple even chose a name, Ava Archer Syme Reeves. But during a routine checkup, just a week before delivery, the doctor discovered that the baby's heart had stopped beating. On that day, Jennifer called me in London, crying so much that I could hardly make out anything. All I understood was that something happened to Ava. I bought tickets and urgently flew to Los Angeles. It turned out our child had passed away. It was decided to induce labor. I was there and saw everything with my own eyes, recalled the always reserved Keanu Reeves. In 2001, the mother of the unborn child also passed away. 29-year-old Jennifer Syme died in a car accident. On her way to a party at Marilyn Manson's place, her Jeep lost control for some reason and crashed into 3 parked cars. Jennifer wasn't wearing her seatbelt and was thrown out of the car through the front windshield during the collision. The police assured that Jennifer was under the influence of drugs or medication at the time of the accident. Many believe that this accident served as the basis for David Lynch's Mulholland Drive, as Jennifer used to work as his assistant. Keanu buried his beloved next to their stillborn daughter. After the accident, the actor made a public service announcement about the importance of wearing seatbelts. He was convinced that if Jennifer had been wearing one, she would have survived. But that was just the beginning of a chain of personal tragedies for Keanu Reeves. In January 2003, his beloved half-sister Kim's leukemia began to worsen. The terrible diagnosis was given back in 1993, but until then, they had been able to manage the illness. Keanu practically gave up filming, surrounding his sister with love and care. He donated all his earnings to her treatment and care. A few years later, he participated in the program Stand Up to Cancer and announced that his sister had beaten leukemia. In 2007, the actor was caught in the company of actresses Holly Mayers, Shire, followed by Parker Posey, then Trini Woodall. All women belonged to the film world but didn't achieve great heights in that field. In the summer of 2013, the media was abuzz with discussions about Keanu Reeves' romance with Anna Skidonova, a Russian actress. However, the girl herself revealed that they met during a yacht party and, unnoticed by themselves, struck up a conversation, spending several hours talking, and emphasized that their relationship was purely friendly. The question of whether Keanu Reeves' heart is free remains open to this day. Perhaps it was taken by the unknown woman with whom photographers caught him, leaving a concert by the Ho in Los Angeles. In 2019, Keanu made an exception to his rule and went public with a new lady in his life. She turned out to be a 46-year-old artist named Alexandra Grant. She doesn't resemble Hollywood beauties, but judging from the photos, they are happy together. There was no official confirmation of their relationship. But Keanu Reeves is generally not in the habit of commenting on his personal life. As for his everyday life, Keanu Reeves is a very modest person. Despite having millions of dollars in his account, he continues to use public transportation and gallantly offers his seat to women. In 2010, a photograph appeared on the internet that became the subject of numerous jokes about sad Keanu. Paparazzi captured the actor looking sad, eating a sandwich while sitting on a bench with his head down. Since then, July 15 has been unofficially recognized as Cheer Up Keanu Reeves Day. When the actor found out about this, he was very surprised. He said that the expression on his face in the photo was accidental, and he is not constantly in a state of sadness 24/7. As many people think, Keanu always celebrates his birthdays quietly, surrounded by family. Once, he bought a piece of cake, lit a candle on it, and stood with it on the street, allowing anyone who recognized him to congratulate their idol. Keanu could often be seen on the streets in the company of homeless people. He buys them food and talks to them. The actor believes that there is no need to travel to third world countries to help the less fortunate, let alone make a fuss about it, making it a special event. You can help those in need right here, on the streets of your hometown, is his position, which deserves immense respect. In his youth, Keanu Reeves was into extreme motorcycle riding, which is now evident from numerous scars and memories of various injuries. He also played in the punk band Dog Star, reminding him of the eventful days of his youth. In December 2021, the fourth installment of The Matrix premiered, despite the Wachowski siblings denying any plans for a continuation after the release of the third part. In 2015, Lily Wachowski also debunked rumors of a fourth movie, stating that audiences were tired of various reboots and sequels featuring returning heroes many years later. However, the film was announced in 2019, and Lana Wachowski took charge of directing The Matrix Resurrection. Neo forgets about The Matrix and lives an ordinary life as Thomas Anderson until he encounters Morpheus again, played by another actor, Yahya Abdul Mateen i.e. In March 2023, the premiere of the fourth and seemingly final installment of John Wick took place, immediately becoming a box office leader, including in Russia. In this part, already silent Wick says only 380 words, as enthusiasts counted despite the film's nearly 3-hour duration. As director Chad Stahelski explained, Reeves himself wanted to remove half of the lines from the script. However, according to Keanu himself and the majority of viewers, this part of the tetralogy is the most spectacular and challenging in terms of filming. Keanu also doesn't forget about the second part of Constantine. According to the actor, he is doing everything he can to bring the start of filming closer, as the first part was released way back in 2005.